What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the NVM channel. Another video, another project car. Stay tuned for this one. So everyone watching now are going to wonder, why have I bought an almost 15-year-old Z4M Coupe? And the reason being is because in 2007 I actually visited a BMW dealership just before I set up NV Motorsport, and I was just about to purchase a Z4M Coupe just like this in sapphire black, and I didn't, and I set the company up instead. So if I had bought this Z4M Coupe back in 2007, you guys would not be watching the NV Motorsport channel today. It took all the investment, time, money and effort to get the business to where it is today, and I think going back in time, purchasing one of these cars and bringing it up to speed with a few tasty modifications and a bit of a restoration is going to be a great journey for you guys at home.
Midlife crisis.
Come on, mate. It is a blast from the past, and yes, it's a small, lightweight sports car with a mad S54 engine. I actually bought this car blindly. 2 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep, and I started bidding on an auction, and this is what the result is. It's in decent condition, the paintwork is a bit rough, and it needs a good detail, and it does need a bit of a restoration, and maybe a few tasty mods to give that OEM Plus vibe. So you might have seen in the last episode, we picked up our brand new BMW M4 CSL, which is an absolute monster on track and on road, and it's currently locked away in a vault, appreciating in value. So I believe the Z4M is a future classic. It is one of a kind, with parts shared from the E46 M3, CSL and other vehicles too. Yes, we've got multiple projects happening at the same time. The Silver Surfer, the M4 CSL, the M3 G80, so many cars coming through. I think we're going to codename this one the Black Panther. I mean, a car like this is almost a classic. It's definitely an M Legend with a carbon airbox, a catback exhaust system and an NVM tune. It's gonna be an absolute beast on the road and on track. If you didn't see our vlog on the S54 Alpha N tuning, I'll leave a link up there for you guys to go check that out. First drive times. Bit of a squeeze, isn't it?
Bit of a squeeze.
It's nice and snug. I think it's not for your tall members of the community, but still. Oh. Almost 8,000 RPM, mate. I mean, the technology is amazing for something that was built 15, 16 odd years ago. It's absolutely immense. I mean, the handling, you're sitting right on the rear axle. Can you feel that when we're driving? So guys, it came out the factory with about 330 brake horsepower, and that was right at the top of the rev range, like 7,800 RPM. So you really had to wing it to get it there, and torque about 4,900 RPM peak. So it's definitely a kind of a driver focused car, and it's a lot more responsive than that on the E46. Not only because of the weight, but because of the agility, the handling. I mean, there's certain things I would change, like the return to center is not really the best. I think that might be a caster kind of camber issue at the front end. And it feels a bit understeery. Like when we're going around that roundabout, a bit kind of heavy. Feels a bit understeery, but I mean, the suspension's good. Car kind of drives straight. There's no vibrations, no stupid noises, clunks, or anything like that. And it doesn't suffer with the E46 cracked rear subframe because it's got a bit more support at the back. The brakes are shot though. What do you think of it, mate?
I think you're going for your midlife crisis for sure.
Oh mate!
Well, at least we got a TV in here.
The TV's crazy. We've got EastEnders on. I can't believe I've got a TV in a Z4, bro. It's mad because some of our modern cars don't even have a bloody TV in there. That's crazy, isn't it? Digital terrestrial TV in a 2007-year-old car. Anyway, less talking, more driving. That is a fucking handful. Now the Z4M shares obviously the engine with the E46 era, the steering rack, that from a CSL, and the brakes and suspension from a CSL too. So in all honesty, I think it's a great bargain to be had, and like I said, it should hold its value, if not go up. There are some tasty modifications we've got to do to it. I love the fact that this comes with a Siemens MS70 ECU, not the MS45 that was on the E46 era. This is a lot more easier to control and a lot more variables that we can control. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting journey. I mean, this has to be my favorite all-out basher of a car. Like fresh Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on CSL wheels. And it drives amazing. Yes, it's a bit snappy, you probably seen from the clips there, but it's something that we've got to get used to. And as I said, if we were to go for an E46, I'd have the CSL over anything, but I wouldn't compromise on that, and I wouldn't buy a budget E46 M3, hence why the decision to buy a Z4M was made. This feels a lot quicker than the E46 M3. Obviously it's a shorter wheelbase, it's a bit lighter, I wouldn't say it's much. We'd have to get it on the weighing scales, and we'd have to stick it on the dyno, and we'd have to give it a full inspection. But stay tuned for more of that in the next episode, where we find out how much power she's running.